this may indeed be the most busy day we've ever had as far as the trains go. I know that some people have reported the trains blowing through stations just because they can't put anyone else on board. There's no room.
Wow.
So I feel bad for the guy who's trying to get down to work right now because that's just not going to happen. It's like getting toothpaste on Black Friday. It's just good luck to you.
Who's working today in Chicago?
A lot of police, that's for sure. A lot of people in the media, but I don't envision a lot getting done today in the offices because this is, let's face it, a moment that hasn't happened in 108 years. So it's going to be a big party atmosphere.
Ryan Burrow, the thing that gets me every single time is when Joe Madden or puts on his dad's hat, or a son talks about his dad, or the dad talks about the grandfather. I mean, that gets me every time, even though you're Cub fans. I mean, that's got to be going just rampant in Chicago these days.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's got a story. Everyone's got some connection to a previous generation of Cubs fan who wasn't able to be here, who rooted for the team in the 70s when they were really bad, in the 80s when they were mostly bad, in the 90s when they were mostly bad. So I was reading a story today about a gentleman who actually sat at the gravesite of his father and listened to the entire game while wearing all of his Cubs stuff because he promised his dad that if the Cubs ever made it to the World Series, they would follow the game together. And I mean, it's just gripping. I mean,
it gets you every
a lot
time.
of stories like that.
Steve Bartman made a statement?
It doesn't sound like we'll see him today, but obviously he's a very happy guy right now, and the curse is over. I don't think Bartman has to worry too much anymore. I'm hoping they bring him into the fold at some point.
They got to have a Steve Bartman day. They got to have a Steve Bartman bobblehead day or something for the poor guy.
There you go.
All right, Ryan Burrow. Congratulations. Enjoy the day. Have a safe weekend, and we'll talk to you down the road.
All right, sounds good.
You got it. Steve, Ryan Burrow.
You know what? That song is still in my head. Ryan's right.
Go, Cubs,
go.
I was, the first time I ever heard it was, oddly enough, this one time I went to Wrigley, and they won. It was so weird. And they played that song. I've been to Wrigley, dozens of times, and it always seems like the Cardinals have won every time I've been there. I don't have time to tell a story, do I? I have a great story about Wrigley Field.
Oh, really?
I'll tell it next hour. It's a great story about Wrigley Field. It is 8:46 here at Big 5.